Hey guys, I think it's time we talk about LavaCake. As you can see, I got lava adding up here. I take it out every day. I take it several times a day. And then I put it into other things. I put that money to work. But we need to talk about some things. I know some of you might be aping into this right now, and it may be a good time, but I don't know. Let's look at this. So it's going up pretty strong. It was this morning, it was around $3 and something, down on the lower side of $3. In fact, today is the 7th. And so let's see. So, earlier day 325. Yesterday was as low as 293. Now it's 426. So it's making quite a climb. But let's talk about this for a minute. Now, I've been putting off going over this because I wanted to do a really thorough job and talk about all kinds of things with farms and pools and the risk and why I'm doing it and how I think I've gotten rid of the risk. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you my own educational perspectives, but it's not advice. Hire a financial advisor if you're looking for advice. But these strategies are working really, really well for me. I wanted to do a really thorough job. I'm gonna do my best of just running through it on the fly so I can get it done because there's so many exciting things going on. We just got involved with 100X. I only got a little over a 6X because I sold out early, but the community that I'm in, Tribe 100X, spotted mini Doge, and I've been reporting on that and how we spotted it early and what we're doing in there. So many exciting things going on in DeFi right now. And these pools and farms are one of them. Let me just run through this so you know what's going on here, because I don't know if now's a good time to buy. I'm going to talk about that. I want you to at least be informed. So, because if I didn't know what I'm about to share with you, I'd probably ape in right now. But knowing what I'm about to share with you, well, I'd like to know. I would like to know if I were you what I'm about to share with you. So if we look at the longer timeline on LavaCake, you're going to see that it launched for the very first time on June 6th. And then check this out, by June 21st, no, sorry, June 18th. So 12 days later, it had gone from, almost nothing, like, maybe $2. I don't know what that comes to, let's say about $2, somewhere in there. To the point I'm trying to get to is it went as high as almost $13,000. How does something go from $2 to $13,000 and then tank? Well, a lot of people say, oh, it was a rug pull. I don't think so. I don't think it was a rug pull. Let me tell you why. Because when I first saw this, I was just baffled. How does something go from, somewhere around $2 to $13,000 in 12 days and then down to, back to $2? Well, the way they have this set up, follow me, track me on this. The way they have this set up, I can see how that happened just because of regular market conditions. And I don't know if they knew that would happen and they sold and made a lot of money. I don't care. That's smart on their end. I wouldn't call that a rug pull if that's the case. Let me show you what I mean. And let me show you that I still think there's great opportunity here. But you better be aware of this, like when you're making decisions on when to come in. I actually love this thing. I'm going to share with you why I started coming in when it was like at 30, even 70 I bought, and why I'm not upset as I continued dollar cost averaging all the way down and buying probably most of it around under $3. So I'm excited to see it start going up. I've been waiting for it to hit the basement. I don't know if it's at the basement yet and going back up, but I'm excited about it, even though I'm going to share with you some of these things, even though I saw the price go from like $2 to $13,000, then down back to $2. I'm still excited, but you need to know what's going on. So, okay, so here's what's going on. If you go into LavaCake, you're going to see that they have this countdown clock. It says harvest lockup. It says 3 days, 15 hours, 55 minutes. This means that if you put your money in here, you're going to be able to take it out in 3 days, or you're going to be able to harvest. You're going to be able to take out the lava that's been accumulating with these high interest rates. Right now it's at 2,266%. If you do the lava BUSD LP, if you don't know what that is, I'm going to do my best to walk you through it. I wanted to spend more time on all of this, but I just got to get this out because it's, if the price is starting to climb, you need to know this stuff. So let's get into this a little bit later today about what an LP is and the risks and all that stuff, and something called impermanent loss and all that stuff. We'll get into that later. These pay really high percentages. There is some risk that we'll talk about. There's the point though is in 3 days and 15 hours, people will be able to take their harvest out. And when they take their harvest out, naturally a bunch of people are going to sell. So when this first launched, track me on this, when this first launched, if we go back to this chart, when this first launched, it only makes sense that people might have been buying in order to get the really high returns. And I don't know what the percentage was they were paying before. I've seen it as high as 4,000%. And that's why I wasn't so concerned when I bought it at 70 and then it dropped to 30 and I bought more at 30 and then it dropped to 10 and I bought more at 10 and then dropped to 3. Because even though I'm in pools now, and I'll talk about the difference between pools and farms in a second, I was getting over 4,000% for a while. And so that kind of overcompensates for the drop in many ways, especially because I was dollar cost averaging. I'll come back to all of that. My point is, this is not a rug pull, this huge drop from $13,000 to $2 in a day or whatever that was. What happened was people were buying in for the very first time, not understanding how it works. And they couldn't harvest. So they were making all these returns and they were so excited because they saw the price rising. You following me? They saw the price rising. So they got excited, right? People get so excited. They stop thinking. So that's what happened. And it's like understandable. Like there's opportunity here, guys. It's not a rug pull. People got excited. They saw the price going up and they started to buy more. And they started saying, oh my God, I'm making so much money. But they couldn't sell it yet. They couldn't sell it until they could harvest. And so the very first day that people could harvest and people saw that the price was at $13,000, they thought they were millionaires because they had accumulated all this lava that was showing to be worth $13,000, but it went up to $13,000 because no one could sell for the very first time and no one knew where the price ceiling was. So it just went nuts because people don't think sometimes. You following? I'm hoping you're following this. Like that's why the price went to 13,000 and that's why it dropped, because everyone started selling it when they could harvest and it went all the way back down to zero, because this is called price discovery. It was discovering the top, it's discovering the bottom because it's brand new. This is real live market conditions and there's lots of opportunity in here. So I hope you followed that. That's why the price spiked up. That's why it plummeted. It was not a rug pull. Now, maybe the founders of this knew this would happen and they were selling up here, making a fortune. And hats off to them. They told everybody what the rules were and everything. So it's just the way it is. There's opportunity here. So now what? Well, I personally don't know that it's a good time to buy in today, because if we look at the 1 minute chart, you know, it's going up. It might be, I mean, maybe the price targets, maybe it's going to go really high now. I was waiting for the bottom. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. Well, let's look even big, broader, more 30-minute chart. We look at the 4-hour, but it's like not been around long enough. You know, so it dropped down to the $2.30 range. That seemed to be about the bottom. It might have been a little lower than that, but not much. Now it's starting to climb. Now, remember, it may be climbing for the same reason. A lot of people might be in the farms and pools. We'll talk about pools in a second. We're looking at farms right now. Farms pay a higher percentage than pools because there's a little bit more of a risk because of impermanent loss, because of LPs. And if you're new to all this, I'll talk about that today. But just let's talk generally so you can understand the bigger point, which is right now the price might be climbing for the same reason it was before, because people can't sell what they've been accumulating, because this pays you the percentage in lava. So, you know, while you can unstake what you put in here, you could unstake what you put in and sell that. You know, what ends up happening is a lot of people are accumulating all this lava. And when this harvest lockup is released in 3 days, every week it does this, by the way, for those that don't know what's going on, if you're brand new to all of this lava stuff, every 6 days it's locked up. Once a week it unlocks, and that's when people can sell their lava. So in 3 days, it's possible, right? It's possible that a whole bunch of people are going to sell and the price come down, and that would be the time to buy. Now, the only thing about, so I'm not buying at this moment because it's spiking. I'm going to wait for 3 days. I'm going to let this, usually I do, because it was like under $3. I was buying all the time with the money I was making here in pools. And again, I'll talk about what pools are versus farms in a second for those that don't know. But I was buying, accumulating. Now that it's going up in price, I'm going to wait until the farm's countdown clock hits 0. People have access to the lava, you know, because on the 7th day every week they have access to the lava to sell before it locks up again the next week. I'm going to see if that brings the price down. Now, if it doesn't, if it opens up and people have access to the lava that and they harvest it and they can sell it and they don't sell it enough, that doesn't create enough selling pressure to bring the price down, then I know that we hit the floor, at least for now, and I'm going to ape into this thing. Are you following me on all of this? If you're not following me on this, ask questions below, like where did I lose you? Because this is really valuable insight into this stuff that took me, a lot of time to figure out. And if you see things differently, let me know. But I don't see how you could. Like, this is the way it's set up, and it's kind of obvious that when they release the lava, and like once a week, that could have selling pressure because they're letting people harvest and sell the lava they've been making for the week with the high percentages. But it also makes sense that if we see this countdown clock hit 0, and for that day that it's open, the selling pressure doesn't bring the price down much, and then this locks back up the next week, we know we probably hit a price bottom, and it's probably time to come back in, and we'll be looking at price discovery again on how far this goes up. But I'm not, so I could be making an error and not buying more now, but I want to wait and see. I already told myself beforehand I was going to wait and see. Once it hit a bottom, started to climb back up pretty solid, I want confirmation. I want to see that countdown clock hit 0. People have access to their lava, right? And see what happens to that price. And I'm trying to tell you, yeah, it might come down a little bit, but if we see it not come down much and then it locks up again, probably we were at the bottom and it's time to ape into this thing. Okay, I hope you're following all that. Super interesting, super fascinating. Let's now talk about the difference between farms and pools. I just wanted to, cover why, I do not think this was a rug pull and shouldn't be classified as a rug pull, even though it went from somewhere around $2 or whatever the price was to $13,000 and then back down to around 2 something. Now it's up to 4 something. That wasn't a rug pull. It was people for the very first time buying, and it was locked up that week, and they were buying more, thinking they were going to be rich as the price continued to skyrocket. And they went crazy, euphoria. And then as soon as it opened up, they started selling, and then it just dumped. But now it's going to have price discovery again. It's just the nature of certain models, the way they set them up by locking up the harvest like that, it created that situation. It's just market conditions. And so, big opportunity here because we don't know where the price is and it's still discovering it. So the market cap's only at 1.8 million now. It used to be like, 6,000 times higher. Now, I think a lot of that was artificial because, not artificial, but just we're not going to see that again. But what this does is it does extend out the perception of where the high is. And I know a lot of people think it's a rug and all that, but that's not what happened here. And there's a huge opportunity here. But again, just want to repeat, I'm not buying until this countdown clock hits 0 and I see what happens to the price. It could skyrocket. That's okay. I want confirmation. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions on that. Now we're going to break into difference between farms and pools. And again, I wanted to have more time. This is all improv because I needed to get this out because like a whole week's gone by and I can't, there's so many exciting things going on in DeFi. So I just want to give you the goods and share with you what I'm seeing, not financial advice, not recommending you do this at all. What you do and don't do is completely up to you. Do your own research. If you're looking for advice, hire a financial advisor. That's not what this is. It's education only, my personal strategies. So it's not even, I wouldn't even consider it education. It's just my personal strategies to do with what you want. Farms and pools. So I'm in pools right now. I started out in farms. It was again like 4,000%. I moved over to pools because the market was going wonky. BNB was dropping crazy. And I'll talk about in a minute with farms, that's where you have the risk is when things are going sideways and stuff. And by the way, I'm in chocolate pools. I didn't do staking pools. I did chocolate pools. And this is what this is. So, I keep buying lava. And I'm going to wait, like I said before, I'm going to wait to see what the price does when they open up that harvest in a couple of days. But I had been buying a lot of lava as it dropped. I was dollar cost averaging, which just means buying more as the price came down. And I was looking for that bottom, or where's the bottom price? And I knew it was somewhere. And I knew I would start to recognize when we hit it, because then the price would kind of even out. It evened out somewhere around $2.50. Sometimes somewhere between 230 and 3, I saw that was maybe the bottom. We'll still see, but we need confirmation. We need a little more time. It looks like that might have been the bottom, at least for now. And then now it's starting to go up to 4. So, we'll see. Like I said, we'll know for sure, or at least a lot more detail when the harvest opens up. But I was buying as it went down. And This is paying 518%, and I got 498 lava in here paying BUSD. It's paying me BUSD, which I can use for whatever I want. Sometimes I use that to buy Tiki, because Tiki token's like a reward token. It's paying me all kinds of BNB. I've only been in this for 2 weeks, and it's paid me over 30 BNB. And sometimes when there's no volume, Tiki doesn't pay much. Sometimes it's a lot. I'll put a link to that if you want to learn more about it. I think it's super smart to be in that, but again, not advice. I look for ways to get my compounding going, you know? So again, like this is free money to me. And so I'm putting a piece of that free money in my rainy day account. My rainy day account I never touch, so it's always growing. I do that with everything like crypto pre-sales when I make money there. When I get on cryptocurrency pre-sales and we flip that in a day. I'll put a link below if you want to know our crypto pre-sale strategy. For example, Mini Doge launched Friday, and a bunch of people in our community, you know, I only did a little over 6x on that, but it went over 100x. A lot of people did much better than me. I did a 6x and then I sold out, but 6x is good. I take part of my proceeds on those things, on those crypto pre-sales. By the way, now it's down to about where I sold it. It's still way up. It's 83 million market cap. Crazy. Went up to like 300 million market cap. Might be a good time to buy back in. We'll look at that later in our group. But crypto pre-sales paying a huge return. And then I put some of that money in my rainy day fund. I put some of it in these compounding things. And again, that's just the profits. So, you know, even if this goes belly up, it's like, it's all free money anyway, and it's compounding. And then I put some of this in cake and some of the less risky pools and farms, but I put some of it in the high risk pools and farms like this because it's huge returns. And I just, my point is almost 500 here paying me BUSD. This one is USDT. I put 62 lava over here, which right at the present price, if this doesn't drop when the staking is allowed, when you can unstake, you know, that would be like 250 bucks on that one and about 2,000 bucks on this one, over 2,000 bucks on this one. And right now I'm getting 516% annual, right? Which is just huge. And if you take some of this and you keep reinvesting and get the compounding going, it's nuts. I don't know how many of you know this. I did another video. You might want to check it out on my channel of how to turn $1,000 into 1.37 million. If you're just getting 2% compounded per day, $1,000 turns into 1.37 million. You might want to watch that video. And using these can be a way to do that. One of the different ways to do that. So, you know, that's why I love these. It's a no-brainer to me. I have another video on my channel talking about the strategy. I call it the Gearbox strategy. And if you're taking just proceeds, your gains from like crypto pre-sales, which I'll put a link below to show you how we're doing those. Like what I got 6x on Mini Doge from Friday, doing those all the time. You take a percentage of your proceeds, you put in your trading fund, and your trading fund's constantly growing. And then you put some of that trading fund into more crypto pre-sales, but some of it in these things. It all starts to go to work for you, and you're not risking your own money. It's money you just made. I mean, that's how I look at it. It's all compounding and growing. Look at that video. It's another video. I'll put a link to that below this video as well, talking about what's it called? The DeFi Gearbox strategy, where you get all these different gears going, taking your gains and helping you get those compounding. Super powerful. So you can see that the interest rate just drops. So this is moving all the time. As the price goes up, this drops so you're always getting about the same anyway, which is a ton. On 498, I'm getting about 30 bucks a day, which I get to go put to work for me. And again, if you see the power of compounding, which I talk about in another video, you'll see that you can turn $1,000 into 1.37 million on 2% compounded per day. So, I mean, this is all real good. Right now, it's a little under 2% per day because you'd need about 365 days in a year times 2 is what, 6, 7, 20 or something like that. You need about 720% or something like that to do 2% per day. But it's just one of the mechanisms. We're taking some of this money and putting it back into crypto pre-sales, which we often get, 20% gain, way over 2%. So, and then there's also reinvesting back into some of the pre-sales that have dropped. Like Mini Doge has come way down now. And I don't know if I want to buy into this one, but it's an example. If we saw a confirmation, this was the bottom. These are things we talk about in our Discord group. Then you can start to make really huge gains on those as well. So for me, I can say it's easy to do 2% per day with these DeFi methods. And again, look at the DeFi Gearbox strategy. I'll put a link to the video below to kind of see how that works. But my point here is pools, pretty straightforward. You get it going, you get these high returns. It's pretty crazy. And then if we go to farms, I wanted to explain this LP thing. So there's something called impermanent loss that I don't want to go too much into detail on it. I'm going to do my best. These pay higher percentages because it requires you pairing up two different cryptos, in this case, Lava. So you have to buy Lava first. And in this case, you would buy BUSD. This one over here is you would buy Lava and you would pair it up with BNB. And I'm not going to do a step-by-step tutorial in this video, but you could easily go to YouTube and type, I'll do one at some time, but you could type in, how do I do an LP, with Pancake Swap. A bunch of videos will come up showing you how to pair these up. You go to Pancake Swap and you pair these up. And I think they have instructions here too, like how to start farming. Go here and it shows you how. And you pair it up. And so what ends up happening though, the risk is if, let's say BUSD, if you paired up Lava and BUSD, if BUSD, let's say skyrocketed, well, BUSD is a stable coin, so it's not going to skyrocket. Let's use this as an example. If BNB skyrocketed and you did this one and Lava went down, they're going to give you a whole bunch more Lava and a lot less BNB because they're not going to take the loss. It's called impermanent loss. You want these to stay the same. Like if Lava went up about the same or the exact same percentage that BNB went up, you would have no loss. But if one of them goes up or down more than the other one, they're going to make sure that when you unstake that you're going to eat the loss. Now the percentages are so high, it often doesn't matter. And if both of them go up, then you didn't lose anyway. You know what I mean? If both of them go up, you won because they're going to give you back, enough tokens to have you take the winnings. If one of them went up a lot more than the other, you wouldn't win as much as if you had just held on to them. But then again, you wouldn't have gotten the high percentages. So that can often offset it. Impermanent loss, and what I'm discussing right now is what took me so long to want to make this video. And it's a bit complicated. I don't know if it's that complicated. It took me a while to fully understand it. If you type in impermanent loss, how does impermanent loss work? You're going to find videos that explain it. They always explain it in such challenging ways. I'm going to take time to really break it down. I just want you to know the simple way of looking at it is if you do this, which by the way, it says how to start farming. By the way, the best way to learn is to do it and do it with very little money, like $5 worth or something, and then watch what happens. That's the best way to learn. And $5 is not a lot to risk. So that's how I like to do it. I learn with very little invested. If you want to do more research on farming and the impermanent loss, just search impermanent loss. But I'm going to say it in the simplest terms possible. And I'm sorry that this is so disorganized. I just needed to get this out because this is starting to go up. People might be aping into this. I'm going to wait and see what happens till this countdown clock hits 0. But anyway, to summarize, the difference in these in terms of one going up or going down is where you can lose. If they both go up the same percentage, you don't lose. If they don't go up or down and they were to both stay the same price, you don't lose. But if one goes way up and one goes way down, when you unstake, they don't take the loss. They're gonna give you, like if BNB goes way up in price from the time that you paired these together, and Lava goes way down or vice versa, they're gonna give you, well, let's just give a specific example. Let's say BNB goes way up, Lava goes way down. They're going to give you a whole bunch more Lava token and a lot less BNB token to make sure that they didn't lose on the exchange. So that has nothing to do with Lava, by the way. That has to do with like where you marry these, where you pair these, which would be like on Pancake Swap. It's just the way LPs work. So you could do a lot more research on LPs, on farming, on impermanent loss. I will do a simple version where I'm more organized and breaking down. It is kind of confusing to explain and to take in. But again, that's why I always say, take $5, pair $2.50 in Lava and $2.50 in BNB and just experience it. And then you really start to get it. I will do another video on that. The simpler way is not having to pair two things together, sorry, chocolate pools, and get paid in BUSD. They do make you hold this for a while. So like this one, I'm not gonna be able to unstake for 9 days. And so you've got that to consider. And on the USDT, the one that pays in USD, you wouldn't be able to unstake this one for 23 days. But these are paying really high returns. It does fluctuate depending on the price. But you know, right now 501% on the one that's paying in BUSD, extremely high. And you know, I'm loving it. But again, I'm going to wait and see. And so pools are a lot simpler. Chocolate pools, super simple. And like I always suggest, like learn this stuff with $2. You're going to learn by engaging with it, and you can engage with basically no risk. $2 is no risk. I'm not recommending you do that. When I say you, I'm using a pronoun theoretically, figuratively, to communicate my own strategy, not a recommendation to you, not advice to you. Hire a financial advisor if you want advice. All right, guys. So that was my best of being able to just say, hey, look, no, this wasn't a rug pull. I explained why this went from $2 to $13,000 in days and then dropped. It wasn't a rug pull. It was just the way it was set up when it was introduced on the markets, all market conditions. I think there's huge opportunity. I was looking for the price floor. I think we might have found it. We need confirmation. We're going to get stronger confirmation when this countdown clock hits 0 and people are able to unstake again. And we're going to see what happens to this price. Does it plummet? If so, if it gets back down under 3, I'm gonna start buying again. If it just comes down a little bit and then the countdown clock closes up again on Monday, you know, because this happens every week, we probably hit the bottom for a while, and I'm gonna ape into this thing. I'll keep you posted. I hope that was helpful. I'm a big fan of this. I don't like believe in it so much that I think, oh, it might not go out of business tomorrow. It could. But I don't put everything I have into this. I'm taking proceeds from the crypto pre-sale strategy, like some of the proceeds that I made from mini Doge shooting up. I made a 6x. Some people in our group, you know, did close to 100x. I sold early. I take some of those proceeds and I put it into things like Tiki. I'll put a link to that below. That's paying me rewards. I already took out over a BNB just from today. And then I get that going to work for me. I take some of that and I put that into Lava. You see, so I'm not really risking my own money and I'm getting it all working for me. And I even take some of it, like some of these proceeds, I'm going to put into Cake, which is a much safer pool. You just start spreading it out and you start looking at getting these different piles of $1,000 you have going, paying 2% compounded per day on average, which turns $1,000 into 1.37 million. Look for my video to that below. I'll put links to all of this below. Hope this was helpful. I know it was super disorganized, but there's so much going on in DeFi that's working. And so I just wanted to get this out about Lava because I saw the price going up and I was concerned because I've referenced this a lot. I was concerned that people might be, let's look at the shorter term. I was concerned people might not understand how it works and what's going on, and it might go way higher. I don't really want you aping into it right now without knowing that, hey, when that countdown clock hits 0, this could come down. And that's where I'm looking at buying. I'm going to buy when the countdown clock hits 0. However, I am taking the risk that this could just skyrocket now. It could have hit bottom. It could go up to like 30 before that countdown clock hits 0, right? Which one, you know, what am I talking about? This here, when this countdown clock hits 0 in 3 days, this might already go to 30. It could happen. But again, hopefully I explained clearly enough. It's worth the risk to me not to buy now, wait and see what happens. And then I'll have a better idea where the price is. I'll do more updates. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys soon.